Hello there, it's another great moment to be on Third Eye Television, broadcasting from the Central Business District, Abuja, and this is 360 Youth Dialogue, where we basically try to look at what are some of those issues that are affecting the youth in the society and how to overcome them. You know, peer pressure, we have a lot of issues that are affecting our youth, both male and female, and we are discussing, we're bringing them to the fore to see how we can address these societal menaces and nuisances in the society. All right, my name is Bivan Magoni. Once again, we're broadcasting from the Central Business District. So there's been this issue that's affecting us in the society, and that's the hookup culture. You know, a couple of months ago, a friend of mine I haven't heard from in a long while, female, who is married now, called me and said, Bivan, let's hook up. And when she said, let's hook up, the message she sent to me at that moment was different. But then I understood the message. But then in a different setting or environment, when you hear the word hookup, what comes to your mind is totally different. The word has been, should I use the word bastardized, and the meaning is altered completely in our generation today. So that's what we're focusing on Youth 360 or 360 Youth Dialogue right here. Join me shortly as I bring on board my colleagues as we have this conversation. Do stay with us.
For deeper analysis on security situation in Nigeria and beyond, watch Third Eye Africa TV.
Thank you for staying with us and welcome back. It's still Third Eye Television, like again, broadcasting from the Central Business District, Abuja. I have with me Precious, I have Juliet, I also have Byron. Now, you are familiar with Juliet because she's been here. We've been talking about, you know, we made a formal introduction and welcoming her on board Third Eye Television, but then you haven't seen Precious, you haven't seen Byron. Precious the other day had to disappoint us a little bit. She disappeared, she just vanished on us. Byron has, you know, but thank God for his mercies and how things, probably they're making new resolutions that 2024, 25 rather, things are going to be different. Welcome guys, good to see you.
Thank you.
Byron, you can smile a little bit, right? Good to see you, man. So how was the Christmas celebration?
It was fantastic for me. You know, it's a season of love and sharing. So, and I had the opportunity to do what I love to do the most. That is cooking. So I did some cooking and did some sharing of, you know, food and all of that. So
how come I don't get any food?
You're just a call now.
Okay, so we're going to look at this issue here, like we started. Now we're looking at the fact that this says prostitution is the oldest this thing. Is it, what do we call it? Oldest trade in the world. Is the oldest trade in the world. And people say no, it is not. There are other things that come into play. There are other things that this and that. But now prostitution goes beyond what we used to know, which is more of like trade by barter. But right now, when you look at the society, a lot of people have found a way to make it a thing of convenience, where they say hook up. Hook up is the right word to use now. It's not about people standing by the roadsides anymore, where someone goes there, picks somebody, and they go ahead and do whatever it is. And should I just say transfer infection to each other? Now, the whole game has changed, and there are more of like better words to use, you know, just to make ourselves more comfortable. But we are looking at it this way. Is hookup? What's the definition of hookup in the first place? Let's just look at it generally as people seated here in this room.
For me, hookup, when they say hookup, it's like a short-term relationship, just at that poor moment, just common.
But I feel you need to use the word agreement. It has to do with agreement. Yes, it's just a short-term relationship. It has to be agreement. The agreement between both parties, where one tends to benefit maybe the sexual satisfaction, while the other person gets money in return.
So it's like a give and take stuff.
Yes.
Or like an act of being paid for a service. I'll call it a service.
Yeah, definitely, like, it's a service now.
Yes.
It's a service.
So a intercourse service or intercourse satisfaction that is being paid for.
Okay, now when we say being paid for a service, then we're also calling it prostitution, are we?
When what?
When we say it's like paid for service, it's also prostitution, because prostitution is like a service.
That's what he was asking. What's
Is it really a service? Okay, but a service is something that's supposed to be legal, isn't it? When you say service, you're providing goods and services. You provide your services, I pay you. but it has to be legal. When something is illegal in the first place, is prostitution, is hookup, is it legal?
That's the
Does it
question.
carry severe consequences? Are there repercussions when you get yourself
Of course
involved
there
in
are.
this?
Yes, there are.
No, the question here for me, we need to first of all know if prostitution is actually legal or not. That's what it is. If we can define that, they will know the next step to take. But for me, I don't think it's even illegal. I think it's legal. That's what I would say, because I know so many joints in Abuja here where such thing occur, and I've never heard of maybe police picking them up and closing down the place. It's still functioning till today.
Yes, because for me, if you say it is illegal, why is it that sometimes when you see some police van driving around some certain areas where they have should I call them hookup girls lined up,
Yes.
and they'll just pass by. Some days they can choose to arrest, some days they choose not to arrest. Even some of them patronize them. So how do we now say it is illegal?
Legal.
And how do we now say it is legal?
And he was asking if it was like a service. You can't. You're saying if it's a service is only something that is legal. But people that do drugs, what they call them, drug lords, and it's
No, drugs is actually illegal.
drug is illegal, but it's called a goods.
The goods?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
in
it's
their own
goods.
this. Okay.
No, but-
Goods.
No,
So if
you're
you're
looking at it.
legal-
You're looking at it this way. Just like you said, illicit goods. Okay, it's illicit,
Yes.
so it's not legal,
It's not legal.
and
It
there
doesn't
are
make-
repercussions. There are consequences. Now, you asked in the first place: is hookup, is prostitution, is illegal? No, it is not legal.
In Nigeria.
Fact, yes, in Nigeria.
Okay.
Now, you just implicated the police who said you police sometimes patronize them. You just implicated the police now. Which is to say that, remember, I told you earlier, my first documentary ever. I make documentaries for a living, mostly.
Okay.
Okay. My first documentary ever was, I was walking around Wuse 2 and I saw these girls line up. And it was strange to me that at that time of the night,
Yes.
women were standing and waiting for people to pick them up.
Yeah.
And I got curious, like, why are they doing what they're doing? Why are you standing in the middle of the night waiting for a stranger you've never seen to come and
Before,
pick you?
right.
What's the reason behind this? So it took me 4 months plus to investigate, moving from one brothel to another in Abuja here. And I mean, not just Abuja, trying to pitch my story together. And then I found out, like you said, is it legal? No, it is not. That's why sometimes the police raid those hot spots and then they take them. Now, it's just a corrupt system that makes it look like it's illegal. It's illegal,
okay.
but
Yeah,
the
yeah,
truth
that's
is,
true.
it is not. And I think in the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, paying for sex is illegal. It's a crime, and you get to pay for it seriously. If you go up north, because of the religion up there, if you are caught, anything, it's a serious crime in the first place. But then let's move away from that part of the conversation. Sometimes when we look at this, is it just women that do this, or there are also men who do this? Is this thing gender-based, or it's just one-sided?
It's of course both gender.
It's not gender based. It's has to do with both male and female.
Female.
It's just that these days it's been projected more on the female
Yes.
than the men. But it's more of sometimes. Let me put it this way. Sometimes the male, they call theirs sugar mommy.
Okay.
Yes. While they project the prostitution or the hookup thing on the
the
female. Yeah, while some guys call theirs sugar mommy, but
Sugar daddy.
sugar
Sugar
mommy,
mommy, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So everything boils down to hookup.
Yes.
Yes.
that's-
So is it possible for you to go around at the streets of Abuja now and then you see guys
That's
line up
standing.
waiting for you to come out to
That's
just
the
do
thing.
them?
There's different ways, different mode of operation.
What's the thing you're trying to say?
See, now hookup has gone beyond just standing on the road.
Yes.
Yes.
Guys do hookup on their phone where some guys go shirtless. Even girls is like normal on TikTok, they twerk and the rest
On
of it.
Instagram
Yeah.
as well.
Instagram.
Yeah.
But guys, they actually do this and they get paid by.
So
not
the
even
truth
sugar
here,
mommy
the
to
truth
send
here is,
around.
the truth here is, the shift from prostitution to hookup, it's being introduced by the introduction of social media.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, those days when you hear prostitution, what comes to your head is somebody going to your house and meet some ladies. Yeah, but now most times it happens online. The transaction, the whole business, the whole setup
Starts
happens
online.
Online.
Then you just get to meet the person and do the service and get paid for it.
He seems to be quite knowledgeable about it anyway. Yeah, right. Interesting. So I'm looking at it. I think we are getting the concept of sugar mommy, sugar daddy wrongly. And then when we look at the concept of hookup, so it means there are guys there that are in apps, and then a lady will sit down in a house, and then just go there, pick somebody's picture profile, and say, "Can you please come over to my house?"
Yes,
of course,
yes.
yes.
And
We don't
you know
like
the
that.
funny part?
Yeah.
They have hookup app.
Yes,
Yeah, they have-
exactly.
They have hookup app where
They
you
even promote it on social
legitly,
media
yeah,
too.
you legitly go and then
You
select
search.
anybody and chat the person up, and the person is at your house. This is like a illegal business.
Hey,
like
but even
fraud.
as much as that, you're right. I still feel like the ladies do it more than the guys.
Yes.
It's, if you look at the
That's why when most times you need to hit on this, is it gender based? Because anywhere you mention hookup, the first thing that comes to everybody's mind is
The girl.
is a girl. We need to tackle the girl.
Now,
Tackle the girl.
sorry, the thing is, now if you look at Yahoo, that's cybercrime. Should I call it
Internet fraud, cybercrime, yeah, generally.
cyber crime. It's more projected on the male
Male,
than the
yes.
female, whereas a female that does it more than the male. Now this goes down to hookup of a thing. There are guys that do it more than female. Just that you cannot just say a guy and say this guy is into
Yeah.
this. But once you see a lady dressed indecently, you'll say she's a hookup babe or she's a this or that.
But the question now is, okay, why is it like that? Why is it that most ladies go into hookup?
Okay, yeah, all right, cool,
That's the
good
question
question. Why do ladies go into hookup and guys go
guys don't
into
go into
internet
hookup?
fraud?
I think it's the society.
Society, how?
Like you said, that prostitution is like an old trade. So from the long run, it's been women do prostitution, men defraud. To get money, it's just like women, sex, men make money. So that whole stuff, even women that are into cyber crime, they won't see them as no, this one she can't be part of it. But the moment, even if she's not a hookup lady and she's dressed shabbily, they're like, this babe now
She's
hookup
into
girl."
hookup.
Yeah, right.
You get it, right? So it's that society painting women for like sex and men for like
Is
making
is
money.
society painting women or women painting women?
Our society.
It's we that make up the society
Women-
now.
Women
Women-
from the society, but
Men and women.
Is this society or women painting women? I think I disagree with that. As a father, you have a daughter, you wouldn't want to see her go into commercial sex.
Of course,
As a
definitely.
father, you have a sister, or a brother, you have a sister, you wouldn't want to see her go into that. As a husband, you wouldn't want to see your wife
Yeah.
going into it. But women constantly are the ones guilty of this thing. So what is the root cause of it?
For me, if I want to put any idea to that, I think it all starts from who approaches who. Most times, guys are the one approaching ladies for maybe relationship and sex and all that. So it's moved to that where, okay, since you've been approaching different ladies and none of them are answering, there are some ladies that are okay, we agree, we're open for it, but we give us, in exchange for that, you give us money. So that's where the whole idea comes in.
Okay.
So it's a woman thing. Is it a woman thing or guys thing?
it's not just a woman thing.
No, you must make yourself available.
Okay, now,
Now,
let me finish it up now.
Okay.
So that's it. But why a guy go for older ladies? Because the lady now, she's no longer attractive and she has money, but she wants somebody to maybe satisfy her. So she uses her money to lure younger guys to have the kind of relationship with them. So that's why the guys come in. That's why the guys come in this kind of scenario. You know that a normal guy won't want to have anything to do with the older lady if there's no money involved.
Okay, for me, I would say peer pressure. Yes, because sometimes for the younger generations, they are being pressured by their peers. Yeah, because imagine you see your friend on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever.
Yeah,
you see
TikTok
her, you see her
is
putting on this luxurious hair, putting on shoes that are so expensive, and you're unable to afford them. Then the next thing you feel like, oh, the easiest trade for you to do or the easiest thing for you to do is to go into hookup. So some people just feel like, oh, let me just do this and just get the money or just get paid for it. Yeah, that's what most girls does.
Yeah.
So peer pressure affects a lot of people, a lot of younger generations. So they just feel intimidated by their peers. Yeah. So and also I don't know. We had what was it called? Broken homes. Yeah, broken homes as well affects. It's also what was
Really
it called?
costs.
Yes, it costs for
Like
it too.
domestic violence.
Yeah,
Exactly.
domestic
I think-
violence.
Yes,
Yes, broken
do you know,
homes.
talking about domestic violence, most women that are into prostitution or stuff, they didn't just introduce themselves to it. It started from somewhere. It started
Yeah,
from
true.
sometimes rape, sometimes molestation from home, and stuff, and then introduce them into the system, because no girl would just wake up and say, I want to be a hip-hop artist or hip-hop person.
Mind you, some people do it for pleasure.
For pleasure, actually. It's possible.
Some
but
people
some
do
people
it
do
for
it for
pleasure.
pleasure.
At the end,
Yes.
Okay, at the end of the day, it boils down with peer pressure, the social media.
I just feel it boils down to
But
individual-
I just feel
individual idea.
I just feel everything boils down to the family system. The family system has broken down completely.
Yes.
You know, divorce is now glamorized,
Yeah.
and it's more of like exalted. I just read something where a lady said, she's free and happy where she is today. Whether we like it or not, the family system has a lot to play. Having the mother, having the father, having the children under the same roof, it
Yes.
brings some sort of certain level of sanity and
true.
control. I watched this guy, this American guy. He's a sexual predator, and when they asked him, "How do you get to pick your victims?" and he said, "Through the father."
Through the father.
Through the father, he picks his victims through their fathers. He said, "If I know the father is going to be a danger to me, before I pick a victim, if I see someone I like, I stalk that child for as long as I can. While I'm stalking that child, I look at the father's lifestyle. If the father is most likely someone that will come after my life, is someone that is going to hurt me, is someone that is going to hunt me down, I'm not going to do it.
Oh.
But if the father is a weakling, is someone that doesn't give, doesn't care about anything, I'm not going to." So you see, the family system has a lot to play.
That's
The
correct.
family system has made children more vulnerable. Now, you said something, and let me give you a good example here. I sat down with a couple of guys. You see, this back and forth, gender banter between men and women. Who is at fault? Who is at fault? We can never get to the root cause of it, unless we have a balanced family system.
Yes.
Unless we have a balanced family system. A balanced family system is where the mother, father, children live under the same roof. As a matter of fact, where the extended family is even involved. At a point in time in Africa, when a child is at fault, everybody could discipline that child.
Definitely. Yes.
Right now, you can't even do that. A woman gives birth today, things don't work out between the woman and the husband, they separate. Sometimes they spend time here, sometimes they spend here, sometimes they are somewhere else. Nobody knows how the children are raised and how they grow.
Mentally, yes.
So in the
Society
long
has
run,
to
it
play a long
affects
role.
them badly. So I sat down with a group of guys. Well, like 70 number. When was the first sexual encounter you had? And everybody's out of, and how? And out of all the guys there, only about 1 or 2 persons said we had, our first sexual encounter with age mates when we were much more grown or at our own will. But most of the guys were abused by people related to them in the family
people in
when
the
the
house.
parents are not around. When the absence of parenting, brought about all of that. So the family system has a lot to play in this, whether we like it or not. So you were saying something about the female child, how being introduced via rape and all of that.
Molestation.
All children suffer this. All of them are victims.
Very true. Very true.
So the problem is, and the point is, how do I even address this? Look at the crime rate in the society. When you study, when you look at the American justice system, for example,
Yes.
if you look at it, the highest number of children that are incarcerated are mostly from broken homes. And when you look at it also, the highest number of people that are involved in crime generally, whether commercial sex, prostitution, hookup, or whatever it is, the parents are always mostly absent in their lives.
Yes, yeah.
But
But-
would you say all victims? Because remember, there are this category of people they call preacher's kid.
Preacher's kids,
Yeah.
Yeah.
rebels.
No,
You
like
call them rebels, but okay, it still boils down. If we look at it this way, sometimes the parents are absent, sometimes the parents are not, right? But we cannot just say it's always about them not being around.
Sometimes the parents are around, but they do not pay much attention to their children. Most parents are around, but do not pay attention because sometimes when parents trust too much, they trust your brother, your brother
maybe
too
the
much.
house help
Yes,
too. The house
they
help
trust,
too.
and not even sometimes. Yes,
The house help.
most people don't even trust their house help that much, but they trust
But-
their siblings so much.
Yeah.
Or the husband, the father of the
Uncles,
child. Yeah,
aunties.
exactly. Say, don't worry, I want to go get something. Just stay with your uncle. I'll be right back, and all of that. So before just within that short period of time, so many things can happen to that child.
Yeah.
Yes, so parents need to pay more attention to their children.
And at the long run, it just messes with the child's brain.
Exactly.
And when they now get to know really what's happened, because sometimes when they're introduced to it, they don't really know what this thing is. But when they, and the truth is, they won't even talk to their parents about it.
That is the
then
thing.
they go back to their pair, and their
It's
pair is
not
like, oh, it's cool, it's
normal.
normal.
Yeah, someone
And then
does this to me as well, and all of that. So, and the moment you do it to a child like 1, 2, 3 times, and the child is not saying anything about
Start
it,
seeing it as
maybe
normal.
exactly, you threaten the child not to talk, and the child starts seeing that as a normal thing. Just starts feeling some kind of way, and when you continue, the child will not want to say anything anymore.
That's true.
Yeah.
And with the trend of social media now, painting sexual intercourse as a normal
Normal
stuff.
stuff.
Yes,
And nudity as a normal stuff. Some people will be like, it's normal.
very true.
I don't think it's still a normal stuff, unless you've not come across people who contract sexually transmitted infections and diseases. It's not a normal stuff.
It's not,
When
it's
you-
not a normal stuff.
it's not-
Apart
I
from
don't
the sexual- apart from the sexual transmitted disease, your life is at risk.
Your mental
Of
health.
course.
Yes, your
Mental
life is at
health
risk.
and
That's
all
it.
of
Now,
that.
imagine you going and living in a town to another different town to see somebody that you never.
These are cases that we've dealt with over and over and over
Yeah.
Your life
again.
is at risk, so it's very, very.
I came across
Very cool
these cases. I was in a police station a couple of years ago. I went to cover an event, and I was there, and there are 2 reports I witnessed that day. One was this guy met this lady via social media. She moved all the way from Cairo to Lifecamp to go see him. On her way, she met the guy, took a bike and all of that. He said, no, but you're not the one I'm chatting with. He said, no, it's my boss. He said I should come and pick you up. Now realize that this guy was using another person's picture. And so in the process, he robbed her and tried to rape her. In the process, the police was passing, and they were able to, arrest him. But that's just one of many cases. We've seen situations where ladies leave from one place to another. And just like we say, we casualize these things.
Yeah.
We make them look
Yes,
casual.
yes.
But every
People are
single
losing
day,
their life for this.
you
People are
know,
losing their life.
justice for this person, justice for that
Exactly.
person.
People are
Nobody's
losing
paying
money,
attention.
money rituals. People are raped.
Yes,
different
even
issues.
spiritual aspect as well.
Yes.
We've seen several cases whereby maybe a female just get out alighted from a car, and all of a sudden she just runs mad and all of that. So many, and some people just dry up, some people bleed till they die and all of that. So many things are just involved in this.
Even without the spiritual aspect of it, even physically, you look like you are sound.
Yes.
You look like you're sound, but your life is not going the way it's supposed to be.
Very true.
These things have spiritual implications.
Yes.
Yeah.
For those who believe it, they will always tell that there are spiritual implications,
those
there are
who-
spiritual angles to all of these things.
Yes.
So this year, this issue has a long way to go, but the truth is, you cannot tell me poverty is the root cause of this. I think, like we said, I think the family system,
Yeah.
we need to get the family
Family
system.
system. Family system, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And every child, the mind of every child has to be rewired, renewed.
Very true.
Like we always say, a father, you have to do what you have to do. And then also, financial implications could be there. You are giving birth to children you cannot take care of.
Cannot take care of.
Exactly.
And another thing here is sexual education.
Mhm.
It's very, very
Very
important.
important.
I don't know how old they will start teaching them, but I think it's very, very important.
Well, who's going to even do the sexual
Maybe from
education?
school, from the house. You start from
I disagree from school.
I don't think
No,
school
but
is a
yeah,
good
but
place to
somewhere
teach
you need to start from
child.
somewhere. School,
starts from
home,
the
but just
home.
It's
start.
supposed to start from
Yes,
home.
just start from
Just
home.
that so many parents are trying to shy away from it. So many mothers do not feel comfortable to talk to their
Talk about,
children
yeah.
about it, which is very wrong. If you have a girl child, you should be so free. The child should be able to tell you
Because if you
anything
don't teach
and everything.
them, somebody will teach them. And
Yes.
they teach them the
And,
wrong
and,
way.
and, that,
The
and that's
wrong
the
way, yes,
danger
that
of
is
it,
it.
because
Yes.
as curious as a child's mind is, if he gets to learn outside,
Yes.
and he cannot be controlled. Now, the teacher
Definitely.
is with them for just a few hours, and the next moment they're on their own.
They're on their own.
But when you start from home, you teach them and you put them through.
Yes.
Just like you say, okay, you feel pressed. Please go and use that.
Yeah.
The potty.
Yes. Go and use the restroom. Go and do this.
Yes.
If it starts from the home, the way it's going to be a lot better. But
Of
when they
course.
find out by themselves, a child's mind is always curious.
Very true.
What he hears, what you say, don't do.
That's
You
what
want
Turn
to
your
do.
back.
do.
That's
I
what
don't
I
know why
say.
you say you didn't
Very
do.
true. Very
Exactly.
true.
That's true.
Just the parents can start by starting from a very
But
simple
at
simple
what
way.
age? At what
You
age?
can, for me, you can start training your child at the age of 4.
Exactly.
Yes.
But
If you
not-
tell a
not
child,
raw.
now if you tell a child at the age of 4, this part of your body belongs to me. There are some certain parts of your body that are private. Your armpits, some certain part of your body that are private to you. So let the child know, okay, this part of your body is private to you, and it's meant for only you and no one else. If anybody touches, if any other person touches it, let mommy know. So when you do that, and you keep telling that child, orientating that child every day, there is no way any day anybody. Sometimes some children can just be like, "Oh, mommy, so person touched my butt today." You know, the child just say it jokingly, playfully. The child doesn't know if it is right or wrong. But when you keep telling the child every day, okay, mommy, so person does this to me today. Mommy, is this wrong? Is this right? So through that, the child will be so free to tell you anything. If you start from a very young age, it will help the child, and the child will not go away from that route. Yes.
For me, I think when to start sex education, it depends on the child. The parent should be able to tell, okay, this my child has come to a certain level. You should be able to monitor your child's mental space, learning ability, their body, and everything. So in as much as you're telling your child, okay, don't touch this, don't touch that, a time will come when the child will want to experiment. What will happen if this happens?
True.
And mind you, when they disobey, they won't tell you. Do you get? So it
Depends on your relationship with the child.
True. So it's about knowing the child, how your child grow. And sometimes they say, bring up a child in a way he should grow and all those things. But yes, there's some certain age a child would reach where he or she takes his decision by himself. Now that's where...
Yeah, there's some things that you are being taught when you're at a very young age. There is no way that will just come to your head just like that. Oh, my mom once told me this thing is wrong. But because of this self-will you have, you just want to try it out. And when it goes the wrong way, oh, my mom once told me this is wrong. So sometimes it's okay for you to let a child to make a mistake.
Experiment.
But not that kind of mistake, though.
You made that mistake.
I'm not okay with that. If you want your child to make that kind of mistake, then why are you now correct? Why are you now correcting?
That's why I said. No, that's why I said not that kind of mistake. That's why I said that sometimes when you train the child at a very early stage, there's no way the child will not. It will stick.
But and the truth is that most of those young children, the mistakes used to be very, very expensive, in the sense that you just hear they are pregnant. Maybe just the first time and hear they're pregnant, or one disease like that, just the first time. So you just need to just keep telling them they shouldn't even try it. It's best not to even try it and say, okay, let's wait for your mistake and you learn from a mistake. No. You don't do that.
She said something about is it the children of clergies or something like that? You said something like that.
Just kids.
Rebels.
Right.
There are some kids that are naturally rebellious in nature.
Yeah.
If it is those ones, it's either they change, they look at others and they serve as beacon for them, or they will be the ones that will end up as examples to others in the society.
Very true.
So there's nothing you can do. So, but the most important thing is, as a religious person, I think you need to apply the carrot and stick approach in dealing with your children.
Yeah.
Some parents use the stick approach
Too much, actually.
and some use the carrot approach too much.
Yes.
So that's the problem here. In everything, there's the need to bring in what we call balance. Have a balance everything.
Yes,
whether in child upbringing, in feeding, in whatever it is you find yourself, balance your life. So I think that's any last words from you guys just before we sign out?
Okay, I don't know, but what's coming to my mind now is we've traced hookup down to the family, but in situations where this child has grown very well and everything, and then living alone, because most of the people that take this decision to be hookup artist or hookup whatever, they're actually living their life away from home. So what would we say it's the background to their decisions?
Okay, before, I don't know, I have something I want to say before you just get to answer the question. My question is, let's assume most ladies that go into this business are going for money. Is there any way the government can assist, maybe giving them a job or entrepreneurship training for them to go out of those kind of skills?
Do you have money?
Am I the government?
No, do you have money? You ask a
Am I,
question.
am I the government?
Wait, do you have money as an
government
individual?
now.
Do you have money?
No,
that's what I'm saying. I think the
coming back to
government,
the gender base.
government should help.
No, as an individual, do you have money? Are
No,
you
I
being
have
cared
money
for
for
by the
myself.
government?
I have money for myself.
Are you being taken care of by the government?
I would say
Are you doing internet fraud or hookup?
I'm not doing it. But then the people that are in, most of them will tell you poverty led me in. Now, okay, if you ask some of the girls there, they'll tell you that if I have a handwork or something I'm doing, I won't do this. So
So
yes, they say it.
you actually don't need the government for you to get a hand.
No,
for you to
but
get-
if you see, if you can do without the government, some people want to depend on the government. So if government is even assisting, then I think it will help. It
But
will
do you
reduce.
know, the more we justify this
So
whole
government should at least
financial
help. Government should help.
cost of hookup and the rest, the more it's going to have a hold on Nigerian youth. Because okay, like you said, you're not being taken care of by the government, but you're doing fine. Why? Because you decide to do things for yourself. So for me, having hold on
For
the
me, I
government,
just feel the government should still help. If somebody is shouting and crying that I need help from the government to stop this, government should help. That's what I
Alright,
just
sorry,
feel.
for me,
That's
I
my
would
own.
say it is self-discipline. Yes, if you're able to discipline yourself, because even if the government provides you something to do, if it's if it's in you, nothing is going to take it away. You still go back to it. So when you discipline yourself, okay, this thing I promised myself not to do it, and you walk towards it, and you take that step of, you take that leap. It's not going to be easy at first, but when you take that first step and you keep going through that, before you know it, you'll be good. But if you say you're waiting for the government to give you this, you're waiting for someone to get you a job, you can get a cleaning job and get paid.
yeah, that's the thing.
Yes.
No hookup girl will want to actually do a cleaning job.
There are other jobs you can do. Yeah, so it's just about be self-discipline. When you're self-discipline, you get yourself right.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching 360 Youth Dialogue right here from Third Eye Television. It's been an interesting conversation, but trust me, on this we'll be coming your way more often than you expect or think, and we'll be looking at issues that are affecting the youths in the society and how to address them. So the number one thing, priority here, I think, is parents need to pay more attention to their children. The family system, the family structure, it has to be as sound as it used to be. Let's just look at those things and make the family prioritization of the family. Let those things come in first, and then take care of the children you can give birth to, and then make sure as you have those kids around you, please take care of them. Look, no matter what it is, hookup is not a way out of poverty. You may think you are out of poverty just as much as maybe a couple of months, years, but there's a certain point in time without discipline, you find out that it's either you crash completely or your life becomes more difficult and whatever it is, but it's never a way out of it. Thank you for staying with us. My name is Bivan Magoni once again. See you next time.